So let's go ahead and call to order. It is Monday, July 11th, 7:35, and this is the Addison Township Park Committee Recreation Group. So with that, board members present: Rod Blazick, Dave Kostick, Charlie Perinian, and from there, let's have an approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All right, good. Agenda approved. Charlie, with that, when you're ready, would you mind providing us with a review of the last meeting's minutes, please?
These are the Monday, June 6th, 2016 draft minutes, and the meeting started at 7:30 p.m. We all voted to approve the agenda. Approval of May 2nd, 2016 meeting minutes. We all voted yes to approve. Approval of bills. Chuck, $159.04 for park supplies. Rod made a motion to approve the $159.04. All voted yes to approve. Old business. Well for washing and cleaning in the basement at Arnold School. Ongoing process. Reschedule Lake George Nature Park workday. 9:30 a.m. Saturday, June 18th. Chuck will call the Rangers not in attendance. Approval of draft newsletter flyer. Dave made a motion to approve the newsletter flyer as is. All voted yes to approve. The committee would like it to be distributed at the township office counter, library, fire department, park information map box, and mailed with the July property taxes. Rod thanked Chuck for putting the newsletter together. Chuck thanked Sherry Benz and Nancy Martin for assisting. Install new light poles at Watershed Preserve East parking lot. DTE Energy may trench the electrical at no charge. Rod will stake where the new poles are to be placed. Electrician Lou Burney explained what needed to be done. Dave will get prices on electrical wire. New business. Purchase 2 metal locking cabinets to store restroom supplies and trash bags for the vaulted restrooms. Soon. We will give all the Rangers a key. Split rail fence or boulders at Lake George Nature Park to protect the front lawn. What do we want? Get 3 quotes. We will use boulders for now and possibly a fence later. Rod will try to transport boulders from Watershed Preserve Park for our Ranger Workday, June 18th. Chuck offered to help load the boulders with the WHAM Community Service Workers Friday, June 17th. Lake George Nature Park Handicap Certified Dock. What can we purchase for $15,000, which was donated? We will get quotes. Public forum. Ranger Carol Benz said she picked up 4 bags of trash at both parks. Most were in fire rings. She said more trash cans would be good. Chuck said he also removed a very large amount of trash from Watershed Preserve Park for the township cleanup day. He also said he and the community service workers removed a very large fallen tree which fell across one of our new trails. Dave Kostick said Perch Pond is healthy. He has noticed park visitors arriving at the park at dusk at a time when the visitors should be leaving. All agreed. The committee asked Chuck to purchase a few smaller metal signs for both parks parking areas stating park hours sunrise to sunset with ordinance number cited at bottom. Meeting adjourned 8:40 p.m. All voted yes to end meeting.
All right.
Very good. Can I get an approval of the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll
Very
second
good.
it.
All in favor, say aye. Okay. All right. Next, supervisor's report, not present. We'll catch up with him perhaps on the next event. Following that, we have approval of bills. I've got just one bill for diesel fuel for the park tractor for $84 I would like to submit. Any other? Pardon?
And I was just going to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the bill for $84 for the diesel fuel.
Okay,
All
Dave
in
made a
favor?
motion.
Very good. Aye?
Aye.
It's $84 even.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Do you want me to give it to him when I turn in the minutes?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
would, please,
Okay.
Charlie, that'd be fine.
All right.
All right. We are now into old business. Before we go too far into that, one of the things I would like to address again was in the minutes, Charlie, you had mentioned the mailing of the watershed news. Did you get copies of the tax information and see the statements? Good. Good. I'd like to thank everyone for their time and effort, and especially pulling all of that together, Charlie, and all those that wrote articles. Nice jobs for everybody. I think it represented the committee and the township parks very well.
Well, thank you, Dave and Rod, also for writing nice articles that appeared on the back side of it.
Real good. Next on the list is, we had been talking about the well for washing and cleaning in Arnold School. I think we pretty well covered that, Charlie.
Yeah, it's
the
just
last
something that's
event.
going to take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just put on here to be continued as we find out what direction we end up with on that.
Okay. Those are good words, to be continued.
Thank you. Okay. Install new light poles at Watershed East parking lot. We had just marked from the building to the light pole locations, sprayed in the ground so that it doesn't interfere with the cutting of the grass, hopefully. Marked all of that, so we've got set where the poles are going to be, where the fence that butts up to the front of the schoolhouse. We're going to have 2 poles there. We're not going to trench or anything under all the cobblestone and stuff that's there. It's too much. We can get pretty good lighting just by putting one looking north to the right about midways down, and the other one just to the edge of where the first cobblestone entry comes up. That'll give us good lighting across the front of that. And if we need to look at anything else in the future, we can do that, but this will provide nice lighting and parking entrance and be a nice look at the front of the school there. So once we find out when the power company comes in and trenches that, we can make the arrangements for the other items. Have you had a chance to price the sonic tube yet, Charlie?
No, actually, I was just going to go there,
Okay.
their cardboard.
Sure.
And Supervisor Bruce told me the name of the same place that you recommended
Oh,
to go there. So I was just
okay.
going to go there and I was going to
Good.
get them
Good.
and put them in the basement.
Sure.
And when we're just waiting for DTE right now.
Yeah.
It could happen tomorrow, or it could happen 2 months from tomorrow, but Rod's ready to oversee it, and Dave is ready if we need the wire. And so we're just waiting on them, and we're in pretty good shape on
Yeah.
it, I think.
We have, like I said, the poles were donated through Bruce. Some of the electricals that were working here gave us some brand new poles, 2 beautiful poles. We picked up the bolts from Tom's Hardware when he was closing down. We got half price on those hanging bolts for that and everything we need, so it'll be nice to get that project done. Another footnote, though, on that property over there, the schoolhouse interior has been done, other than the final stains and shellac. Charlie, you want to explain what's going on over there with that?
Well, the carpenters that have been working on it finished the interior, and it has new wood floors in it now. The electrician has done most of the lighting inside of there, where it has new light fixtures that resemble old light fixtures, something somewhat similar to probably what was in there 50 years ago. And like Rod said, I believe the next step is to get it stained. Someone's going to go in there, from what I understand, and spray stain everything.
Yeah, and shellac it, I believe, too.
Yeah.
So a finish coat
Yeah.
for it.
It looks very nice. The carpenters did a real nice job on it.
It is.
What are you gonna use it for? Is it for display things for the park or something?
Well, what it's going to be is it's going to be like a little nature center building, a little greeting building, a little place where, let's say, a group of elementary school kids come on the school bus. They can start out sitting on the old antique desks at the schoolhouse, and the blackboard and everything's there like it used to be, and as well as some of the old pictures and decor from when it was the schoolhouse. He'll have a few pictures of things like perhaps frogs and birds
Yeah.
and outdoor things, and someone can give them an orientation on what they expect to see when they walk through the park. Something a little bit like Seven Ponds.
I have a number of those DNR posters. They don't make them anymore. They quit about the last 5-10 years. But
Reptiles, amphibians.
Exactly,
Right.
yeah. It shows the marsh, the drylands, the upland woods, and just a combination of habitats, which really that park encompasses, right? Because it's got a tremendous variation of habitats. So what we'd like to do is put some of those, possibly vinyl cover them and get them up onto the wall where they could stay, and those make some really nice reference items as well, too. Some of the other things they were talking about once it gets done was possibly taking some of the children from our local school and letting them do a day class or something up there and share that along that line.
What a great experience that would be.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It looks really nice. So if you have a chance to look into it, please do. It's worth a stop. Okay. We are looking at purchasing 2 metal locking cabinets for the store restrooms, supplies, and trash bags. That's been pending on me, and I have not done that yet. I thought I would have had it done. I know which ones I want. It's just a matter of me calling Granger at this point and getting it ordered. So I would like to get that one off of this list. I'll make an effort to try and get that done by our next meeting.
Okay, that would be good, because then we can put garbage bags, and we
Yeah.
can put toilet paper and toilet
Yeah.
supplies in there, and also perhaps maybe just a small first aid kit too.
Yes,
Because
right,
other rangers in the
right.
fire department
Yeah.
recommended that, and give every ranger a key. And that way every ranger's got a key to both cabinets, one on each side of the park, on Havens Road and Rochester.
We can
And
get those
they'll be
keys
mounted
aligned.
out right on the wall. And Rod and I were talking, and the cabinet's not that awfully big, maybe a foot deep, and
Right.
maybe a foot and a half by a foot and a half or a foot wide or something.
Yeah, maybe 2 feet wide. There's plenty
Yeah.
of wall space there to hang
Yeah,
it.
wall cabinet.
And that way it'll be store items and be up off the floor and out of the way, so I will make arrangements to get that done here soon. So let me put my name on this and I'll follow up.
I put in the minutes. Rod will
Okay.
get it done.
Then it's gotta happen.
Right.
Next on the list is the split rail or boulders at Lake George to protect the front lawn. It seems like everyone that's going in there and visiting is parking up on top of the area where you'd spread the top soil, and like they all just for some reason end up on the top of that hill. So we'll end up grabbing the boulders out of there within the next month or so and just
All right.
go over and drop those off and have that done. And if we decide later to put a split rail or something in there, at least we can keep some of those cars off of there into the meantime to
That's
where
fine,
it
yeah.
doesn't trash it up.
I'll just put,
That driveway, you mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna block that driveway?
Yeah, where the sign is at now, and Charlie and the team put the sign up for us a couple of weeks ago as well, too.
the WAM workers, yeah.
They done a really nice job on that for us. That was a heavy old booger. So,
Oh, was it ever?
yeah. So they got that set up really nice. What we might do though, too, is stain that like the other one did before
we
we
will.
put the
Yeah, we
signs
will.
on it.
Yeah.
And that way we can come in and finish it with the signs. But it's up, looks good. Now we just need to keep vehicles off of that grassed area, and we'll start working towards that. Next item is the garage door and repairs to Lake George Nature Barn. Charlie, you've pretty much been communicating on that. Is there anything that you can share with us?
Well, we were told that, that Supervisor Bruce arranged to have someone put new garage doors at the barn, and from what we understand, the person was going to do a lot of it as a donation, which is very nice of them. So we're just remaining patient. We don't want to prod them, especially when we're getting it done at a reasonable to perhaps no cost. We'll just remain
Following up.
content, and we'll just wait. But hopefully that will happen soon, and then we can move forward on the painting. And
Charlie's actually been following up on that on a monthly basis for us, so it's not that it's not getting attention. The parties just haven't been able to come together yet, so there's a lot of background stuff that he does that he's not saying. So anyway, it's moving forward, it's just not completed yet.
now we ask about all these things every week, and little by little they get done. We look at our list that's a couple months old, and there's quite a few items we've crossed off it, so we're moving forward.
Yeah. Next, we were looking at Lake George Nature Park handicap dock and trail improvements. We're looking at quotes. Charlie, can you update us on that one?
Yeah, well, I did do some investigation on that as well on a weekly basis. And Assistant Supervisor Sherry and I thought that there was a photo that we saw of that dock that someone brought to a park meeting. Do you kind of remember seeing something
I
like
do,
that?
yeah,
And we
I
can't
do.
get our hands on it. I looked through my papers, she looked through her
Okay.
papers. And where the photo was taken and the dock that we want is at this Lost Lake Park in Oakland Township. And that dock is a handicap certified dock where there's no issues. Like if we buy the dock, later on, no one can accuse us of it not being handicap certified because that's what the company sells. They put their seal on it. So if someone doesn't like the dock, or if someone has issues with the dock, or if something happens to them on that dock, they have to take it up with that company, not us. We don't want to be the party that gets blamed for trying to cut corners. And so again, we got this. We got a donation for a new dock of $15,000, and one of these days we're going to be asked when this dock is going to be built. And so we're working on two fronts. We're working on improving the trail so the trail's ready when the dock is ready, and also we have to meet with these dock people and perhaps another company or two to make sure we're getting a good price on the dock, and so we can spend the amount of money that was allocated to us for this dock. The dock at this other park that we were told was the model was about $10,000 more than we were planning on spending. So we might have to ask them a few questions and ask them perhaps, what do we get if we wanted a shorter dock? Can we get it within our budget? So I guess I'll have to perhaps go over there and see if I can find a tag on the dock, and so I can get some contact information, and then and then we can talk to this company.
Charlie, do you know that Lost Lake, is that through the Oakland County Parks and Rec?
I think that's on Predmore Road, ain't it? Lost Lake?
Yeah, it's off of Pedro,
It's
yeah.
Oakland Township.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oakland
It's-
Township,
yeah.
okay.
Isn't that kind of
Okay.
by like Graham Lake and
Yeah.
Tamarack Lake?
Well, it's down further to the south.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
You take Predmore off of Lake George Road and it goes around the first bend you come to.
Yeah.
Lost Lake is right up there where they got the sliding hill for the kids.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go there and try to find the tag on the dock so I can get their telephone number so we can sit down and get a quote from them.
You might even check with Oakland Township. They might have record on that if
Yeah.
that be the case too.
Yeah, if there's
So,
no tag, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it'd be pretty simple, it's just someone needs to just to go over there and get the contact information on it.
Yep.
And then we can get a quote. And so at the same time, I mentioned it to Assistant Supervisor Sherry that on the trail going down to the lake, which we looked at and reviewed on Ranger Workday, June 18th, there's not much more we can really do to it. We could touch up a few spots with our little tractor, but we're really not going to get anywhere.
Right, right.
If our township leaders want that trail a little bit better, perhaps we're going to probably have to have someone with a small little bulldozer go through there and improve upon what we did.
Yeah,
We,
no way we can get that little tractor in.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
What they'll be
it's-
able to accomplish with a bulldozer would take
Even-
us 4 times the amount of
Yeah,
time.
even with pulling bush hog off the back, it's just not enough equipment to,
How much hill,
Yeah, so that's, that's what our leaders have been told. We've gone about as far as we can go with that. It's up to them. And again, I think it's very important that we keep the trail moving as well as getting the price and getting the dock purchase both at the same time. Otherwise, we're going to get the dock or we're going to get the trail done and we'll be waiting another 6 months for the other. So we'll get them both done at the same time.
good.
we gotta take that tree out anyhow, that big.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gotta come out before you put a dock.
The weeping
Yeah.
willow? The weeping willow on the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it
Yeah.
should come down.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know, winter time would be a good time to do that.
Yeah.
Good. Next, and the final list on old business is we need to vote to purchase the small metal signs for the parking areas, basically saying park open from sunrise to sunset with the ordinance on it. Is that correct there, Charlie? So having addressed the issue that we're experiencing, and that's people coming in late at night and staying over there and at hours the parks are closed, let's go ahead and make a vote for those signs to get those manufactured and we can get those installed. So all those in favor?
I just want to interject one thing, though. It's
Sure,
not
please.
necessarily vote to have one of us purchase it or anything like that. I've talked to Assistant Supervisor Sherry about it 2 or 3 times. She's talked to Supervisor Bruce, and he knows someone that can get it done to save us some money, but we're not sure when it's going to get done. And she impressed upon him the sense of urgency to get it done, and she was, from last time I talked to her, she was going to talk to him again and see how he wants to handle it. This just puts us on record that we want
Right.
him to purchase it.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and do that. I thought we voted last time for that last
No, you
meeting.
just kind of mentioned to me
Okay.
that it's a good idea, go get it done, but we didn't.
Let's do that. Let's take a vote on that. All in favor of getting those signs ordered up and prepared?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Then we'll move that forward. And if we can't get some feedback from them in the next couple of weeks, then we'll just go to the manufacturer that we've purchased the other signs from and get them done ourselves then.
Yeah,
At
we
that
can-
point, it's not worth waiting much longer.
No, it's not,
Because we're
no.
into the peak of the need right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no sense in having to wait until October to have those
Right.
signs done.
No, that's
Right.
what I explained to her too. I says, even if we
Good.
ordered them today, I says, by the time we got the signs back and we had the signs up, it'd be at least a month. And I
Yeah,
says, well, we need to get going on that now, because last week, at least twice, I went by the park, and it was more than a half hour after sunset, and there were cars in the park parking lot.
Yeah, they're coming in over there right at the evening and just meeting up. I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
A lot of skid marks.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that and just a lot of people entering that park right at dusk, and their intentions aren't to trail walk or fish. Their intentions are to go out there and have a lot of fun.
Things that don't need to be taking
Correct.
place. So we will make our efforts to curb it with those signs and the township ordinance up there. It will allow the sheriff's department to write and issue tickets if it's warranted. So we'll get that addressed. All right. New business. Charlie, you've got on here distribute our park rangers volunteer watch list. And has everyone got a copy of the volunteers agenda? Very good. I know it's a bit taxing to try and pursue some of these, but it is also at the same time relaxing to get out and have a walk and get around and look at those. Not only the west entrance off of Rochester Road, but when you have the opportunity, please also check on the entrance over off of Havens Road for the west entrance to Watershed there as well too. The one on Rochester Road gets the most traffic, but the other one also gets quite a bit of going-ons over there, and there's some garbage and debris being occasionally strewn, and keeping that picked up and the help overseeing it is greatly appreciated. So with that, Dave, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? Because you've seen quite a bit of those activities going on.
Well, again, I can't emphasize enough to the park rangers and to the board members that we have to get those signs up. It's not going to necessarily stop people from being in there after hours, but if they see that that there's a potential to get a ticket, and if anyone's driving past Watershed West or East and they see cars in the lot and it's dark, by all means call the sheriff. The sheriff has the ability to issue them a citation. If they have a citation, they're going to stop doing it. Because again, you can't trail walk and you can't fish in the middle of the night. All right, so.
All right.
I have a little to say about that too. We're going to make the signs, pretty much look like no parking signs. They're not going to be big and offensive. They're going to be about the same size as the no parking sign. They're going to be white background, red lettering, and they're going to state park hours, sunrise to sunset. The area at Watershed East, where the surveillance system is, those signs are going to say this area under surveillance. And at the bottom of the signs, it's going to have the Township Ordinance 200 below it in small letters. So if the sheriff sees that and their cars are there, he can write them a ticket, because that's part of the park ordinance, that the park closes at sunset. And so we'll make sure that they're nice, official-looking signs, and we'll make sure that everybody lives by them.
Good. That puts us into public forum. We would like any information from our rangers and audience. Anything new happening out there, folks, you can share with us?
I'm wondering what's happening with the 2-acre parcel that the township picked up.
Yes.
Are we going to be dealing with that at all, or?
Yeah, actually, that should be a straight-through transition, because they'll make the titles and paperwork transfers. So it's basically just going to be absorbed into the park and establishing that an additional 2 acres there, which
maybe a parking lot there or something, or?
No, it's-
that area is too wet, I think, for that.
Swamping?
That's just a
Yeah.
buffer. It's really a buffer
Yeah.
for this, for that area of the park, because the driveway going in on the west side, just not too far south of there is the park boundary. So that gives the park maybe like another 500 more feet buffer south of the driveway, and it's lake frontage, but it's all pretty much wetlands. And from what I understand, it had to go to the Planning Commission to be approved to be part of the park, and
Yeah.
the planning commission
Yeah.
did their thing on it, so.
Good, good.
So, like Rod said, the process is moving along.
Where's that at?
It's to the, it's the watershed, it would be,
South of.
South,
yeah,
yeah.
to the south side of the existing park entrance off of Havens Road.
Off of Haven Joe.
Yeah, there's
Right.
2
Right.
acres that goes to Lude Lake from Haven Road, and that's what was donated.
Okay. Where's that?
And it really is a nice donation to add to that piece, you know. It just takes the kind of conflict out of there from private ownership when the park is really the encompassing area there. So it was very kind of them to do that. Okay, any other items from the public? No?
Well, the only thing I'll mention, because I'm always asked to put it in the minutes.
Sure.
We had this Ranger Workday Saturday, June 18th, and the people that showed up for it were Dave Kostick, Carol Benz, Michelle LaCouille, and me, and we did a little brush hogging in the front. We leveled the pile of dirt with the tractor.
Yeah.
And we worked on the trail going down to the lake. It was clear, and we came up with, there was not much more we could do to it.
Right.
And maybe the tractor could do a little, but not very much, not much.
Not down there.
Yeah.
And so-
Yeah, it starts getting risky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we recommended that, you know, it needs to be looked at, and see if it's acceptable to our leaders, or if we need to get a bulldozer and make it better.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much. We only need a 5-foot wide path there, and it would probably take about a day, and then if they brought in some gravel, we could gravel it over, and then decide if that's good enough for a surface, or if we needed to go another step. But by putting the gravel into there, it would prevent any erosion of that area from washing down on us, and maintain it, at least at that point, for suitable traffic. So, thank you for adding that, Charlie. It's always important to give all the members that are donating their time credit for all the work and effort they're putting in. So, thank you for adding that.
You're welcome.
No other needs, thoughts? All right.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Very good. I'll second that motion.
All right.
Meeting adjourned. Time is